Hey everyone, welcome back to another heavy metal diecast video, and today we got one here from DeAgostini, of course, in 1/72nd scale diecast. It is the magazine type, and this one is one of the ones that I got still in its box, so it does have some, details in the back there. We'll get dizzy spinning this thing around, but I tried to look up a little bit of information about the particulars of the aircraft. I couldn't find out too much because I haven't opened the box, so we're checking this out for the first time together, of course. It was one of the ones I grabbed for $25, so it was pretty cheap. It is a cheaper generic type one. These DeAgostini ones are more for the budget collector, and this particular one is an F6F-5 Hellcat, of course. It is Black 3 from VF-24, and I believe it's from the USS Santee, and the VF-24 was established in December of 1942, and it would be deactivated after World War II in September 1945, of course. And that's sort of the only information I could sort of find out about this particular aircraft, and I'm hoping it's right. But anyway, well, enough talk. How about we get this open? So, of course, you do get your favourite blade, and we'll cut all this wrapping off and open this up and have a real good look at it. Alright, so this is the magazine it does come with, which, yeah, it's all in Japanese. It's like similar to the other ones that I did get. It does have some, nice detailed information in there. So if you are lucky enough to be able to speak Japanese, you will get some really cool info, and it's got some pictures at least we can look at, and that is pretty cool. But we will turf that out of the way, and this is the packet, obviously, and it is still sealed in here, so we'll have to get this open so we can have a real good look at this aircraft as well. So with the backing cut off, we can then get this noisy bloody plastic container out and have a little look at it. It sits there nice and snug in the packet, so obviously it does have a propeller and some landing gear options, and this little Hellcat sitting there snugly. Wow, this is actually pretty heavy. And obviously there is a stand there. It does have some tiny little aerials and stuff to put on the aircraft. We'll move this stand out of the way so we can check out this Hellcat properly. And it is in a pretty dark blue. It does have some obvious white and yellow highlights there. But these ones, they sort of do have the lines are sort of painted on. They're not overly deep, as you can see. As I said, these are a cheaper sort of type, and great for the budget collector, or if you're trying to get your collection as cheap as possible but still sort of be half decent. These are not perfect, but I mean, they are far from being perfect, but they are still pretty good little renditions of these particular aircraft. And as I said, it's great for if you're trying to get your kids into this stuff as well. And look, it's good for grown men as well, like grown adults as well. I reckon it does come up really nice. It does have some sort of engine detail there. Just some mild engine detail. Does it have a no, it doesn't have a pilot figure in there, so there is no one inside that cockpit. So for those of you that do like having figures in there inside of their aircraft, you will be a little bit disappointed with that. But overall, I think it does, look very nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. We will turn it over and have a little look underneath there, and it is all that dark navy blue underneath. It's really hard to see a lot of the detail because it is such a dark color. And obviously, your whatever landing gear option you're choosing will be going in there, and of course this stand will go in that little position there, and the tail wheel right in the back there, of course. But the details on it are not too bad. Try and get some light to sort of bounce off that so you can actually see some of those lines. But I don't reckon it's too bad, to be honest. And for what it is, it's 7-pack, $25. They might be. I've had this for a while, so they might be a little bit dearer now if you can find them. But these have always been reasonably cheap when compared to other models, of course. But it's no good like this, is it? So what we'll do is we'll kit it out with some landing gear options and come right back. All right, we're back. So first off, we'll start off with the gear down option. You just drop your main landing gear and a tail wheel in there. It is straightforward. There is just a little hole. You just put that in there and it is job done. And of course, these just go in. They don't rotate. These are just in a fixed position, so you can't move them around. If you like rolling your aircraft around, of course, and that is job done in regards to the landing gear. Then, of course, you just put that little aerial in there, and that is the aircraft pretty much complete. And, of course, your propeller, which does spin pretty freely, but it does look a little bit weird. It does look a little bit squared off. I think normally these are a little bit rounded on the end there, but as I said, this is a very budget sort of orientated model, so don't start expecting hobby master quality from this, because then you will definitely be disappointed with what you get in your grubby little hands, of course. But I think overall, for what it is, it does set up nicely. We'll make sure it sits on its landing gear at least, and of course, yep, it sits on there nicely, so there's no dramas with that. Of course, what we'll do now is we'll set it up in flight so you can check it out like that. Alrighty, we're back, and of course, in flight, straightforward. You just put these two little pieces in, and that is the retracted landing gear. Tail wheel, there is no retracted tail wheel or anything. You just take the tail wheel out, the extended tail wheel out, and then you're just left with that little bit of a hole. But that would be how you'd have it in flight, and if you like to fly yours around, that is how she will look. Now, look, it is a clean aircraft. It is a clean sort of die-cast model. As I said, it's just not extremely detailed or totally full-on accurate, and it's perfect for that budget collector. And that's what I take away from these. They are good fillers if you can't afford to get a really expensive version of this particular aircraft at the time. These are pretty good fillers as well in your collection, until you can find one that's a little bit better quality, of course. And of course, chucking on the stand is just putting the stand in that hole, and then plonking it on the deck here, and that is this Hellcat all done and dusted. Sausage finger test, Hellcats aren't the smallest fighters, of course. They are a big radial engine fighter, and they are a nice looking aircraft as well. And this is, as I said, it's not a bad model for what you're paying, of course. I'll just zoom in a fraction for you and wind this video up, of course. So once again, this is one of the magazine type of models from DeAgostini, and it is 1/72 scale die cast, and it's not too bad for what it is. Very budget style of model, and it is the Grumman F6F Hellcat, of course, and it's from what I could find, it was from VF-24. Alright guys, I will of course take some photos of this and chuck them on at the conclusion of the video, and you can check them out without my fat ass fingers in the way. If you like this little model, give us one of these if you can spare the time to do that. And of course, if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, feel free to do that as well. Alright guys, thanks again for spending your valuable time, of course, watching one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. You all have a fantastic rest of your day. Cheers guys.